Welcome to Reasonably Spontaneous Conversation, Dave. I'm so glad that you got a chance to be with me today because I want to talk to you about your wonderful book. And so I want to know the impetus behind this. Luke and Emily's adventure story books. And I want to talk to you about this because right now there has been in the zeitgeist right now that there has been a war on empathy. That empathy for some reason has been taken down a peg that we shouldn't, that empathy is not something that we need to invest in. And I couldn't disagree more. And everything that you have about your book and your work on Lucas and Emily's Foodback Adventure is teaching me an opportunity to experience what is it like to have someone else's life that is unlike my own.
Yeah, this started with something called the Grandparent Merit Badges.
All right, these are the Grandparent Merit Badges, yes.
Because I come from a big family. I'm closing in on 60 nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews. But I only have 2 grandkids. And so I knew how to be a father and an uncle and a cousin, but I didn't know how to be a grandfather. And so I spent a little time trying to figure out, what does that mean? What should I be doing? I had heard all the funny stories about how, you go out with grandma and grandpa and they let you do whatever you want. I just wanted to have some culture and some dimensions to that relationship. So I started to create a checklist. And the checklist became the Grandparent Merit Badges. From there, I said I need to add a little personality to the merit badges. Are kind of, they're good. It's a good checklist, but I need to add some personality.
So this is something that I would do that would allow me to expand what it is to be a grandparent. So I would earn a merit badge how?
Well, there are merit badges in the book, right? They're pretty simple. They're all designed to be, you can do them freely, one way or the other. You can do these badges. And so you do a badge, and then there's a page for each badge, and you glue the badge in, and you write down where did you do it, when did you do it, what did you do that day, what fun did you have, where'd you go. So you create a memory book for grandparents.
Wonderful. And for the kids to be able to remember what they did and what happened to it. I spent a number of years working with and connecting with some highly successful people around the world. And over again, I would hear that one of the big reasons for the success that I had was my grandparent, because the grandparent can provide a nutrient into a soul nutrient that the parent, because parents are very busy, they're having to work on their, but you can sit back and offer a place of compassion, a place of interest, a place of support. I just think it's brilliant.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I spend a lot of time with my grandkids. I take my 8-year-old grandson to breakfast every Friday, as I will tomorrow. And I pick his brain, literally, when it comes to these books and the ideas that I have, and what does he, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And
yes,
it's very helpful. It's very helpful. So it's not just me. This has got the input of my daughters and my grandkids. Yeah.
Well, isn't it a relationship? Isn't the importance is to have a two-way conversation and to have this between you. So it isn't all just one way. It isn't just the parents sitting up or the grandparents sitting up on the throne and imparting wisdom down to. No, you're learning this together. We learn as much from them as they would from us.
I couldn't agree with you more. I learn stuff from him every day. some of it's kind of, funny, but I learn a lot from my grandkids. It's been a joy watching them grow. One of them has a birthday Saturday. He'll be 3. And I just love spending time with them and interacting and doing lots of different things. And so,
Wonderful. When did you decide to write? All right, so you had the grandparent merit badges, and then you decided to write. What was the impetus behind Lucas and Emily's food bank adventure?
well, this is the 6th of the adventure series. There are 5
Exactly.
other books, but I, at the same time, I crossed paths with the Cleveland Food Bank,
Hmm.
and I started to get involved a little bit with the Cleveland Food Bank, and I was just, I was so impressed with what they do and how expansive they are in terms of the number of people that they help. I said to someone that, when I was a kid, my mom used to say, eat everything on your plate, would you? There are kids, around the world that are starving, and she could have
Exactly.
just,
Did she go through to the depression?
she did, but she could have also said, eat everything on your plate. There are kids down the street that don't have anything to eat. And I just became impressed with what they do. And somehow with my grandson, the topic about food came up, and he said to me words like, well, yeah, I was at school the other day, and we give lunches to some of the kids at school. And one thing led to another, and I said, let's move away from the merit badges and the connection with Lucas. And I mean, let's move into a more philanthropic area. And that's what gave rise to the food bank. I honestly, I was just so impressed with what the Cleveland Food Bank does and the other organizations that I've researched. It's amazing what they do.
It's amazing. All right. Well, take me back to the beginning of Lucas and Emily when you began to write these series before you got to the food bank. So take me back to what your impetus was with those, Dave.
Well, the first book was the Lucas and Emily Animal Adventure, and it was based on visiting a zoo and an aquarium. And those are 2 of the merit badges. And so they
Yeah.
talk about doing the merit badges. Grandpa and Lucas are going to go do the merit badges, and of course, Emily is a friend, and she tags along. And so that's where it started. How do we take these merit badges and put a story behind them so that people can see? It's pretty simple stuff. Um, and so we started by talking about going to the zoo and the aquarium, and I've taken my grandson to both. And one thing led to another, and he and I chatted a little bit about, what should we say? How should we, craft this? And that's what gave rise to the animal adventure.
Oh, how wonderful. And so you began putting these books together and you began writing them and putting them out and distributing them.
I was looking for an illustrator. I had an idea. I had an outline of the book. I
Hmm.
went looking for an illustrator, and through the local library, I discovered a children's book series by a doctor here in town that writes children's books, who I knew. And so I called him up, and the next thing I know, I'm on the phone with his publisher. These are self-published books, but Halo Publishing does a great job in helping me put these together. And
They do a beautiful job. But now I know so many best-selling authors now that are doing their own publishing. The publishing industry, like everything else, has completely evolved from when you and I were kids, from the way that was.
yes,
So it's very much of a new world in that phase.
it is. Well, they gave me some samples of illustrators' work, and I said, I'll take that one. And she's been with us ever since. Her work is remarkable, and she gives me a black and white kind of pencil drawings of because when I write a manuscript, on each page, I put, my description of what I think the picture should look like.
Yeah.
And then she'll draw that. She'll send it to me. We'll make changes. My colleague, Terry's very helpful in that regard. And we review all of this stuff. And then once we approve the pencil drawings, she'll produce them in black or in color, sends them to me in color. We go through that same thing. Halo puts the two together and sends it out there. So
Wonderful. Renee, would you put the cover of Lucas and Emily back up on for us? Because I want to sit there. And so her name is Bonnie, is it Lemaire?
yes.
Bonnie Lemaire, this is her work, and there's such a lightness about it. I really I can see why you chose her. Chose her.
Yeah, I described the characters as I saw them, and we changed the characters in some of the other books. I said, here's what I envision in terms of what
Yeah,
these people look like, and
sure.
and they came out great. And we've stuck with these characters throughout the series, and we do a gardening book that involves a couple of young kids from Japan. There's even one or two lines from Japan of they come over and they help Lucas and Grandma plant a garden. That's the gardening
Beautiful.
adventure. The dog adventure is based on a neighbor that they have. They had a dog, and the story is about how their young grandson was afraid of geese, and how the dog could teach them that geese are nothing to be afraid of. They're just protecting their own, like everybody else. So
Wonderful.
I look around my world and see inspiration for things like that, and that's how these come together.
How wonderful. Well, when you look at both of your family as a whole and your grandchildren in particular, it seems as if we're into a new world today. I mean, we're in a world where everyone's connected. We're connected all the time. What kind of what's your sense about where we are and what's going on? Dave, can you give me some perspective?
Well, this is as we used to say, this is a double-edged sword. And it's great for communicating. FaceTime is marvelous. I get to talk to relatives and friends that live in other parts of the country. I FaceTime, quite often with people, and it's a way to stay connected. But
Absolutely.
you don't want to live your life on social media. And so that's why one of our slogans on these books is disconnect from the digital and reconnect with people that matter the most to you. And that's what it's about. I tell them, put your phone down. Let's go outside and do something. Let's go visit somebody. Let's have more personal interaction, because that's very, very important.
We have to do that if we're going to keep this opportunity for us to be able to move forward. We got to keep that personal connection. I think of it as local to global, so that we go ahead and keep that going. So what's the next adventure that you have on your mind?
Well, we're actually waiting for the color art on the book bank adventure. Is one of the other organizations that I connected with here in Cleveland is the Cleveland Books for Kids.
Oh,
And the work that they do in providing books, to people and families all over the city. And again, like the food bank, I found out, they're one of many. And, you can see in your own neighborhood probably these little book barns.
I know, a little free book.
That
We have a little free book that just sits there. The people come in, get a book, take it. You bet. We have some
Yeah.
here.
Well, there's several 100,000 of those around the world. And book bins. Schools have book bins. If you are done reading books, put them in the put them in the bin. Don't let them sit in your closet. Get them out there in the world and let people enjoy them. And so this one is about doing that, about sharing books with other people, and maybe building your own library. Reading's a great thing, and it allows you to connect with people. In the book bank book, there's a scene where Lucas is taking a book out of the bin, and as they're walking away, a young lad is running up and getting a book out of the bin. And those book barns I see kids every day going into the barn and taking a book out. So it's great. It's really great to see.
Gotta inspire you. And and one of the things I've gotten a chance to go to Cleveland, and really I'm so inspired by the bones that it has, because it was built at a time when they really built things solidly in that. And I see Cleveland is coming back as one of the great cities of the United States.
Cleveland's great. I don't know whether you noticed those pictures on the wall behind me. Those are the programs from the last time the Indians were in the World Series. So, and
Yeah.
we're feeling pretty good right now. The Guardians won. They moved into first place yesterday. So
Congratulations.
it's a good thing.
Congratulations. And the Browns gave a really good game, and they really they really did some wonderful stuff this last Sunday too.
I love the fall when the weather changes and the Guardians are in the playoffs.
Wonderful.
Everybody's in a good mood when that happens.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing to pass along the joys that you have, the joys of creativity, the joys of writing, the joys of connecting with your family. These are the things that we can do to inspire one another, and you've certainly inspired me today.
Well, I'm glad. Although as I tell people, I said, if you have to choose between buying a copy of the book and giving money to the food bank, give the money to the food bank. So they do marvelous work. And this whole community should be very proud of what they do and the people they serve.
All right. Thank you, Dave. And I look forward to following your adventures, and thank you for coming on with me today.
My pleasure. Thank you.